Hello, cinema friends, and welcome to another edition of Cinesundry. My name is Seaberry, Markus Seaberry, and today we're going to review the latest James Bond film, No Time to Die. Okay, in today's film, No Time to Die, we see James Bond. He's retired, he's living a good life, he's put the jersey in the rafters, and he's trying to relax and put all those espionage days behind him. Unfortunately, the bad guys don't care about any of this. And eventually, he gets drawn back into the spy game, and he has to deal with a new bad guy, Lucifer Safin. It's funny. It's almost like a video game if you take all of Daniel Craig's films together, because he's just been going through taking out bad guys in the group called Spectre. And he thought he had taken out the big boss in the last film, and this film lets him know that, sorry, buddy, you don't quite get that happily ever after just yet. We've got a whole new evil for you. And the script and acting. The script was good. The dialogue was sharp. You know, of course, this being a James Bond film, you have to just accept that there are going to be corny puns whenever he incapacitates or kills a bad guy. That's just the staple of James Bond films. They're a little cringeworthy, but you kind of come to accept them by now. But now the acting. The acting was superb. Of course, we have to talk about the lead man, James Bond himself, Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig has pretty much owned this role from the first film, and this film is no exception. He gets it. He's James Bond through and through. He is a very capable leading man. He's awesome. And of course, every hero needs a good villain. And Rami Malek is like a really good villain. He's cunning, he's ruthless, he's evil. He almost feels like a duplicate of James Bond, or like the mirror image of James Bond. Like, this is what James Bond would have been if he didn't have loving people around him. And if he didn't wind up in an organization dedicated to fighting evil like MI6. And I also have to talk about the new 007 in this film, Lashana Lynch. She is Nomi, the new 007. She's tough, she's witty, she's aggressive when she needs to be, and she can hold her own with James Bond with the quips and one-liners. I really enjoyed her. I haven't seen her in a lot of things. I hope to see her in more things. And of course, you have your old standbys. As M, you have Ralph Fiennes. Now, Ralph Fiennes is a veteran actor and he's solid. However, I have a personal bias because in my mind, he'll always be Lord Voldemort from the Harry Potter films, and I just don't want to trust him. But he does a good job. And last but not least, we have to talk about Naomi Harris. Naomi Harris is Moneypenny. Now, in my last review of Venom Let There Be Carnage, I talked about how she did a good job with not a lot to work with. Sadly, this is the case again. She doesn't have a lot in the way of character development or background, but she's solid. And this is a way better film than Venom Let There Be Carnage, so I'm happy. At least she has one top tier film on her resume for 2021. Let's talk about the director technique. Now, the director is Cary Fukunaga. This guy does these great establishing shots that look like 3D postcards. You see like a house in the middle of the snow or ancient dwellings in a far-off land, and very fluid and very energetic fight scenes. I really enjoyed it. It was picturesque. It drew me in. It really makes you want to see what happens next, and it really gives you a sense of, hey, James Bond is really in danger here, and these are really some high-stakes situations. And also, let's talk about my sentiment and rating. All right. My sentiment when I got to the end of this film was sadness, because they really gave you that sense of finality that, hey, Daniel Craig is ending his run as James Bond. I was bummed. I had a few questions, but overall I was happy with the way it ended. I thought it was a fitting swan song. And then also I have to talk about just, this film was just great. And I mean, I cannot stress that enough. This film was superb. There's a saying now that when people do something right, that they understood the assignment. Well, director Cary Fukunaga and his cast and crew completely understood the assignment. This is a great popcorn film. It might not win any awards or get all the accolades, but it worked. It's a great end to Daniel Craig's run. And full disclosure, I hadn't seen any of Daniel Craig's films in their entirety until I began prepping for this review. So I watched them all. I watched all 4 of the previous films, and I watched this one. And if you haven't seen them, I would recommend you doing the same. They're out there on your streaming services. And if you do this, you can get the full grasp of the epic saga that is Daniel Craig as James Bond. You can see him transition from a bit of a loner, a completely grim and dark individual, into a kind of gentler assassin. You know, you see his heart and you see his compassion, but he is still a killer. I mean, he literally has a license to kill. And this one, I'm going to have to give the rating of auteur. Again, great film, superb film. And I say to the cast and crew that comes after him with their newer incarnation of James Bond, you have your work cut out for you. You have a tough act to follow. And I encourage you to take it seriously. Well, that's going to do it for me this week, cinema friends. And until next time, take some time out. Enjoy yourself. Watch a movie. I'll see you next time.